and welcome back to Autism at Home, brought to you by us at Early Autism Project through our nonprofit initiative, the Hope Project. My name is Jo Isaacs, and I'm here again with Kim Knippel, our international BCBA from Madison, Wisconsin. So glad to have you here, Kim, joining us for this whole series on sleep challenges when it comes to children on the autism spectrum. And we have come to our final lesson, lesson 7. And today we're actually going to be talking a bit more about fading nap times. And so previously we've already discussed sleep routines, an introduction to sleep assessment tools, sleep routines, nighttime routines, when you have difficulties falling asleep or staying asleep. We talked in the last lesson about sleeping in your own bed as well. And now fading nap times. And I guess, Kim, the first question would be, when is an appropriate time to start to fade naps?
It's a very popular question. It comes up a lot. But in our previous lessons too, we talked about that waking window, like you said, and that really determines how long a child needs to be awake before they're tired again, basically. In the ABA world, in the behavioral world, we'd say that sleep would be motivating again. Sleep would be a reinforcer again. So basically just that they're tired, right? Yeah. If I just woke up from a nap, 20 minutes later, I'm not going to be tired. Yeah. So we need to look at that waking window. And looking at the waking window really helps us determine what age we can fade naps. Yeah. For little kids that are a year old, about 4 to 5 hours is how long they can be awake before they need to sleep again, before their bodies are tired again. So they need those naps throughout the day, right? At about 2 years old, we're looking closer to that 6-hour mark. So still needing a nap. 3 years old, the waking window gets a little bit wider and a little more flexible. It's between that 6 to 12 hours. So as we get a little bit older, 3.5, and then pushing into 4 and definitely 4.5, those naps should be fading out, because then the kiddos should be able to be awake for about 12 hours at a time. So you wouldn't want to nap midway through the day, because then if we're napping from noon until 2, they're waking up at 2 p.m., then we're looking at 12 hours later, which could be potentially a 2 a.m. bedtime. And that's really messing everything up. That's not going to be successful for the family members that didn't nap during the day, right? So we really want to cut those naps out as our kiddos hit that 3.5 to 4.5-year-old mark.
Sure. And I think for any parent that's worried or concerned that my child won't have enough sleep, it actually will even out, because as you fade the daytime naps, the nighttime sleep gets longer and hopefully of better quality as well. So you're actually not losing that sleep. And I think a lot of children that are having those naps, Kim, they might be having like a 3-hour nap during the day and only sleeping 7 or 8 hours at night, versus sleeping 10 to 12 hours at night, which would be still age appropriate, and then they would have sufficient sleep. And then everyone is happy when the child is sleeping, because then everyone can sleep, and just a better quality of life for everybody. And so how does a parent start to prepare to fade off nap times? Or what are some simple tips that they can start to do?
Yeah, I mean, I've had parents and families that have just taken the nap away completely because nighttime bedtime is so hard. Yeah. And we're trying to get back on track with that. And so then if we take that nap away altogether, that makes at bedtime, the child is more tired, right? Sleep is more reinforcing. They want to go to bed. So that is one option. It requires a lot of attention on the parent's part then to keep the kiddo up and awake during the day until it's bedtime. But it can be done. Otherwise, we can just look to gradually fade the nap. So if the child is napping for 3 hours, maybe we just do 2 hours or 2.5 hours and gradually fade that nap out, and then adjust bedtime accordingly to that. But it can go either way. So it really is a family preference. I tend to err on the side of let's just remove the nap completely and try and keep the kiddo awake, because then it can set us up for that nighttime success right away too.
Sure. And I know that one of the things we did and I'm not sure whether it's appropriate or recommended, because we obviously are monitoring how much screen time a child has and whether it's age appropriate as well. But when our kids were fading out naps around 3 years old and above, and we would be in the car driving or something, that's usually the time where they'll definitely fall asleep. And so in the car for that short drive, I'd actually give them the device just to watch a few videos or something to kind of distract them, because I'm driving alone. There was no one that to kind of play with them or interact with. And then that helped keep them awake. And then, of course, we did the whole nighttime routine and everything until it was bedtime. And then that waking window is actually correct. Yeah, well, that's really great, Kim. I think I have one more quick question on this. Is some of our families that we work with in our subsidized unit especially, they might work on shifts. So the father or the mother works as a shift worker, which means that they are sleeping during the day and working at night. So what we found is some of our kiddos will actually do that. They'll actually go and join their dad and fall asleep together during the day. And I feel like I know what your answer is going to be already, which is consistency. But do you have any other tips on how we can help the family, be a bit more, I guess, consistent with that when one parent is genuinely in the opposite routine as well?
That is hard. I would encourage you, if you have family members that you can reach out to help, so if dad is home sleeping during the day and mom is at work, which is very similar to how it was for my husband. He's a fireman, so he works long nights and he would come home and sometimes need to sleep and I would have to go to work. So I would encourage you to reach out to family members and see if there's a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle, somebody that could help out to maybe be with the child and watch the child during the day to help keep them awake. If you can get away with, the parent getting a short nap, then again, use the TV, use the tablet during that time, because we want to really work on keeping the child awake. And so then we can again have that good nighttime sleep too. So keeping the kiddo busy, having toys that they like to do, things that they like to engage with is really wonderful if that's an option. But I've really found for a lot of individuals, it comes down to having someone that can help out during that time. Family, helpers, nannies, neighbors, aunts, uncles, it can be really helpful.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that tip, Kim. It really, it's definitely very clear. And I think we as parents and as teachers, therapists, we know what to do. And of course, the greatest challenge is actually following through on it. And when it comes to sleep, it is really difficult. And so again, that tip that Kim just shared is to do it together with other adults. I think that would really help other family members to really kind of take that load to ensure that you yourself do get a good night's sleep so that you are sustained to be able to do the routine the next day and to just take turns in some way. Well, that brings us to the end of our sleep series, and we're so happy to have had Kim join us. If you have found this series helpful or if you have any questions at all, please do leave us a comment or any questions in the comment box below. We would love to hear back from you. And we will be starting our 30th series next. That, Kim, actually brings us to 5 years of autism at home. So that 30th series is will kind of finish or complete at the same time as our 5th year anniversary. So do stay tuned for that. It's actually going to be on a very interesting topic on puberty. So we look forward to seeing you then, and we'll see you soon. Thanks so much again, Kim. Take care.
Thank you. It was wonderful to be involved in this series.
Thank you, Kim. Bye. Thank you very much for joining us today, and please do not hesitate to contact us if you need more personalized support. With the amount of interest we have received online, we have actually started providing international online services and have worked over the years with clients in other states of Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines, China, Kuwait, New Zealand, and Switzerland. So do get in touch with us for more information by scanning this QR code. And if you haven't already, do check out our online resource platform, Autism at Home, which has all the lesson videos, corresponding articles, and downloadables available for you for an extremely nominal donation of just $1 monthly. Stay updated through our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and do click on the subscribe and follow buttons to get more information. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon.